And we're in. What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome back to Kayfabe Or Die here with myself and the Buzz. The Buzz.
We're
Buzz.
The Buzz.
The Buzz.
Kind of like The Rock, but
Yeah. We might
buzzier.
leave the in front of it. I like it.
I'm fine with that.
I'm down with the.
Well, The Buzz says we're going to be talking about Wrestlemania tonight.
Mm-hmm. Whole lot of wrestling.
We've been
Whole lot of confusing wrestling because there's mentalness going on, to say the least.
We've been at least the two of us have been at MIA for the last couple of weeks because just really hasn't been much to recap on Raw and SmackDown besides promos and old matches. So
yeah,
you guys got lucky with the NXT AEW recaps with the actually having new material, pretty much.
You know.
That is true.
Feel free to keep filling in there. Some housekeeping maybe could be a way of giving me 5 seconds.
Yes, if you want to, if you want to follow us, we are available on multi places. You can find us. We are on the socials at Kayfabe Or Die on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts at Kayfabe Or Die. And we're on YouTube because that's where we're at right now. So you probably already know that. Also, Kayfabe Or Die. Like you said, we have a very interesting weekend ahead of us.
Yes, an unprecedented first time 2 nights of WrestleMania because it has nothing to do with the coronavirus. It's just so much mentalness and excitement that it can't be contained within one night. Evidently.
I love that tagline where it's like, the only WrestleMania big enough for 2 nights. I'm like, no. Every WrestleMania the last 10 years has been big enough for 2 nights.
Oh, yes.
You just try it all, shove it into one.
Some would go as far to say that since you decided to make it a fucking 7-hour long event, it's been ready to go for 2 nights.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wrestle Kingdom figured that out as well. Do you know what I mean? So
yes. Took them a while. I mean, Wrestle Kingdom, they haven't had as many as WrestleMania, but
they have not.
It still took them all to 2020 to figure it out. But kind of by necessity with WWE, which, I mean, I guess they could have maybe crammed it all in one night, pre-recorded, but
I feel that due to the oddity that is a WrestleMania with no live audience, and I'd imagine especially with the Fiend match, and from what I got the impression of, there's going to be a lot more of a cinematic
theatrical
cinematic kind of original Broken Matt Hardy Lucha Underground style to the way they're going to be doing things, especially for the Cena match and all of that. So I feel all that in one night could be a lot, and you'll notice it. Whereas if you split it up over 2 nights, you don't.
Yeah, because they're gonna have a couple matches like that. Because they're gonna have, like you said, Cena and Wyatt, and then also Styles and Taker Boneyard match. That's gonna be probably something similar.
Sorry, live viewers. My hair appears to have got knotted into my headphones. There we go. I'm free. There we go. Anyway, so there's going to be kind of a couple of kooky matches. Dude, I must say, due to the kind of the way things are having to be done now, it must be a kick in the stones for WWE not to have Matt Hardy there.
Yeah.
Because his thing is adapted for all of this.
For pre-recorded, yeah.
Yeah. So instead of us doing our normal Raw and SmackDown review, and because we're so close to WrestleMania, and myself and Giz technically don't cover main roster on the Friday show, we figured we'd do a WrestleMania predictions episode because there wasn't a lot of news to come out of Raw and SmackDown this week. It was mostly promos that were building up the WrestleMania card.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they had a couple of matches and things that kind of had WrestleMania implications.
Well, Raw the last 2 weeks has been one good match and 2 or 3 squash matches.
And then a bunch of replays and then promos.
Because it's essentially Raw this week you had. Okay, we can essentially just jump into these two things and discuss how it gets into WrestleMania. Okay, so Raw, essentially, you had in the lineup of matches, you had Kaden Carter versus Asuka, which was a squash match. You can figure out who squashed who. You had Aleister Black and some guy who I have no idea who he is.
I have his name written down.
Yeah, is he NXT? Someone said to me.
It was Jason Cade.
Jason Cade. I've never heard of him before in my life. No offense, Jason. So he was against Aleister Black. You can figure how that went as well. There was a lot of meditation stance and then kicking people in the face.
Kiki.
Yeah, actually, I'm lying. There wasn't a lot of meditation stance and kicking people in the face. There was a meditation stance and kicking someone in the face. That was literally I made it sound like there was a whole repeated process to it when in fact there was not. After that, then we had Street Profits.
6-man tag.
Yeah, we had Street Profits and Kevin Owens against Selena Vega's new boys, who is Austin Theory, who apparently is now moved up to main roster, not just as a filler-inner, and Angel Garza and Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins doesn't have any friends now because they're all on lockdown. Yeah. They're not all on lockdown. Buddy Murphy's
on injury.
Buddy Murphy's on lockdown, and one half of AOP ripped a pec. Am I correct?
Yes.
Or was it a shoulder? I think
tricep.
Tricep. Yeah. Okay.
It was
in
that area.
Yeah, and then somebody drastically injured themselves at the end of this match as well. Wow. So
I'm just thinking of what's to come.
Yeah, so there was essentially this was a grand old match. Do you know what I mean? I would say one of the major issues I had with it was for the guy that you've brought up, Austin Theory didn't really get to have much of a showing in it.
No, he just kind of took more offense, really, than kind of showed his own.
I did like this. Did like the setup for this though, where Selena Vega went. Andrade's injured, so I'm after going recruiting somebody else because it makes Selena look like she's an actual. She's not just a bit of hot toddy that's walking around with him. Like she's the faction leader. Do you know what I mean? She's pulling all of these guys together and putting the team together. So I'm liking that angle, albeit having to have been brought by accident. But I like it. It's not good, bad, but it's a grand old match. But mostly, the big come out of this was that Montez Ford was running and did a springboard moonsault up over the top rope to the outside of the ring, and Austin Theory was not there for when Montez Ford landed, and Montez Ford creamed himself on the ramp. Not even on the flat part of the ramp; it was on the angly bit of the ramp. Like It was nasty. Did you hear the news about this? That it's actually Montez Ford's fault. I
heard a little bit about
so it's essentially the way the spot was supposed to go was because if you were to watch it live, you would be like, "Oh shit!" His name's gone out of my head now.
Who?
The guy brought up from NXT. Sorry, it's Austin Theory. I had Tyson Fury in my head. They kind of sound the same. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, if you were to watch it live on Raw, you would think Austin Theory actually messed up because it looked like he just was not there to catch Montez Ford and then he just took a bump even though nothing hit him. But it would appear that the spot was supposed to be Rollins was supposed to trip Montez Ford up, which led to Owens coming into the ring, which led to the finish that we got. Rollins did get the trip in, but somehow Montez Ford didn't register the trip. Thought it was he was like, oh shit, I better keep going with this, and he just went up and over. Which, god damn it, dude, when it comes to selling kayfabe, you knew there was nobody there. Like it was a crazy thing to do. So, it looked awesome. Don't get me wrong, but it was crazy. Like, I mean, you shouldn't be going to hospitals and things like that at times like this, and you.
This is where having no audience was kind of like, I wouldn't say a good thing, but just to hear the sound and just because there's no anybody making noise, just the echo.
I don't think it was a good thing because I honestly think you could have sold it off as an actual thing that was supposed to happen if the audience was there because you didn't hear that crash. But god
Yeah.
damn, you heard every bit of that crash when he hit like it was a disgusting, just metal crunch. I'm surprised there isn't a
I was
dent.
sitting here and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I'd seen it reported because I woke up late on Tuesday morning, and I was like, oh wow, I wonder how bad that could be, because I'm kind of like, people hit the ramp the whole time. Like I didn't hear about his face being bust open like Cody, so it can't be that bad. And just like you, I was watching and I was like, Jesus Christ, that man is dead. That man is
And then
dead.
like the reaction that Zelina Vega gives too, because they'd kind of do like an angle from like her point of view from the side of the ring, and she's watching and she hears it, she like jumps because it's like, oh my god, it's like jarring, it's so loud.
Oh yeah, well it's because
of where
it's because you I don't think you physically needed to see that action happen to know that was not like something bad happened when you heard that noise. And if you heard there was a man and a ramp involved, well, that's it.
You would think that he would not be at WrestleMania, but I have not heard any reports of him. That also depends on when they filmed it too, because I know their filming schedule may have been a bit off, so they may have already filmed Mania before they filmed Raw. So who knows?
I feel somehow that injury would have come out if that was done. If Raw was filmed,
that's what I'm saying.
We'd have heard about it a bit beforehand. But anyway, Kevin Owens cut a really cool promo after that, and other than those matches and that bit of excitement, it was basically a very, very, very good Kevin Owens promo. A very, very good Undertaker promo where he robbed Chris Jericho's line, but that's been all resolved on the Twitters now, so it's fine. A really good Edge promo. Edge promo was great.
Yeah.
And that was it. We had Brock versus Roman Reigns and Becky.
No,
was that last week?
It was Brock versus Brock. Yeah, it was Brock versus Rey Mysterio.
Sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. Series. Brock and Roman were at on SmackDown, wasn't it? I think that got played during SmackDown. We can't rightly remember. There was a Charlotte Flair versus Becky match, and there was another match. Basically, more replays. So we're not reviewing them because
I know they played the WrestleMania 35 main event between Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte, and then the Rey and Brock match, and then that led into the last promo with Heyman and Brock in the ring. Heyman pretty much was like he's like, Drew McIntyre is somebody special, but so was The Rock, so was Hogan, so was all these guys that all bowed down to Brock Lesnar pretty much. Yeah. And that next year's Go Home Raw, going to Mania, will be Brock Lesnar as WWE champion going up against somebody else.
And he worryingly said, "This isn't a prediction; it's a spoiler." Yeah. Although I feel the same gravitas that used to come with that saying isn't there anymore. They've learned that people have copped onto that now, and they're using it as a setup.
Yeah,
I do think they use it as a stooge line a lot. No, because for a very long time, if Heyman said that, Brock won. That's it. Like, it's just if you were told it's a prediction or it's not a spoiler, it's a prediction, or it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. It was usually Brock's winning.
Yeah,
I feel they're into it now, because I just don't see why you'd have Brock lose, or I don't see why you'd have Drew lose.
It wouldn't make sense
unless it
wouldn't really make
unless they want to just keep the belt on Brock for a while in a holding pattern till everything.
That's the only reason I could see it. If everything was all normal, it would be kind of no brainer that Drew would win. But they could be to the point because they don't know when they're going to be able to continue taping or anything after this weekend because of everything that's going on.
For any of the live viewers, by the way, feel free to drop an hello in the chat and we'll do a shout out and it'll be on the podcast, on the Twitters and the
yes.
That was pretty much Raw, wasn't it?
Yeah, the one quick thing before we get into the predictions was my biggest takeaway. The thing I loved the most was during the Edge promo.
Go on.
Where Orton was talking about how he was saying that Edge was a junkie for everything and stuff like that, and Edge was like, if you're not a junkie for this business, then you're in my spot and you're in my way, so get out of the way, kind of in response to Randy Orton. So I really like the Edge promo. I think was the
Yeah,
best.
well, he got to have that old man veteran kind of line. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
good. I like Heyman bringing back the old man badasses. Like, he's good at doing old man badass returns. Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay, will we get into some Mania predictions? So
some predictions.
There wasn't a lot to take out of. Hey Pam. There wasn't a lot.
Hello.
There wasn't a lot to take out of. Oh shit! No, don't upgrade an account. What are you? Don't be opening these things. Sorry. There wasn't a lot to take out of SmackDown at all.
No.
There was a really good Firefly Funhouse promo. That was about it.
Yeah, which that was set up a match for Mania, but we can talk about that when we get into the predictions.
Yeah.
I mean, they already had a match set, but the stipulation.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll get into the predictions, and I'll hit my magical button now. Yep. And WrestleMania logo will pop up. There's that. Okay.
Boom.
Okay, so first match we have is Elias versus Baron Corbin. So, in case you didn't know, Elias is supposedly really good on guitar. And Baron Corbin is sick of his guff, basically. And Baron Corbin got so sick of his guff and he's smart lining with his guitars that, Jesus Christ, I sounded really Irish there. Like, I know I'm Irish, but like that, I sounded especially Irish. Bigora. Anyway, Baron Corbin, Tolly Baldy, is not impressed with his behavior by any means and basically fucked him off a balcony, for lack of a better description.
Yeah, that was kind of the one thing that did happen on SmackDown that we didn't mention, where Elias got Mufasa.
Yeah, good.
For all you Lion King fans.
Yeah, have you seen the 300? He was the guy in the pit. Unfortunately, they did a very bad sound effect for when he hit the concrete.
Not like Montez Ford.
No. If only SmackDown had happened the week after, if that had happened, because they could have just taken the Montez Ford sound effect.
Yeah.
Like, it was very bad. It virtually sounded cartoonish.
Yes. According to the WWE sources, that despite everything, Elias is still going to make his match at WrestleMania this week after the attempted murder of his life. This is, I mean, it's a storyline that they've been building, obviously, but for a couple weeks, but it's been very, very rushed because of the circumstances. I kind of figured this is where they were going.
Giz mailed me as the overseer of wrestling, and he said a minor rant about how he can't log into YouTube, which I won't get into. And he said Heyman said Lesnar would have the belt before the next WrestleMania. Didn't say he'd be walking out of it, this one, with it.
True.
But then he said the spoiler.
Yeah.
So, although I don't know. That's good. Thanks for the correctione. Yes.
We always like being corrected.
But
yeah, so who do you got in this colossal tussle?
Do you want the honest to God truth? I could give less of a fuck about this. Is actually hard for me to.
The funny thing is, it's going to be Elias's first match at Mania, and probably one of his first matches in a while because he doesn't wrestle.
No. He plays guitar and gives people guff, as I've established.
Last year, Corbin beat Angle in Angle's farewell match last year. So
I'm going to say Elias.
That would make sense because to get back after what happened Friday.
Yeah, and I feel there was supposed to be an Elias push a while ago that kind of half happened, and then they changed him up, and then he started wearing woolly jumpers.
Yeah, they seem not to know what they wanted to do with him because he started off as a heel, he went face, and he went heel really quick, and he went back to face really quick.
Well, you see,
so they've been really.
But this is WWE's problem. They can't understand that sometimes heels people like bad guys just because they're very charismatic. And the minute the song started getting over and people did the whole, oh, walk with Elias, all that happened, and then they were like, oh, people like him. he can't be a bad guy. We need to
Yeah.
make him a good guy. And it's like, no, make him a bad guy. People
Yeah.
like Jeff Jarrett. And Jeff Jarrett walked out and gave people a load of guff while playing guitar as well. And then he hit them in the head with the guitar.
Yep.
It's good things.
I'm gonna lean towards Corbin. I just feel that there might be more for Corbin as a. I don't know if they're gonna give him like a push. I know he just kind of went off that long, painful rivalry with
That
Roman
man needs a
Reigns.
holiday. He literally did the same match for 7-8 months.
And the sad part is, and I kind of was thinking that this was a possibility, especially after Elias took the dump on Friday. I was like, I bet you that Corbin is going to go up against Goldberg at Mania and take the title, and then we're going to get Roman and Corbin again, this time for the Universal Championship. Because I was like, I don't know who else could take Roman's spot. But obviously, it sounds like it's going to be Strowman.
Which is a way better idea than Corbin, kind of. Although I don't know, Corbin would be able to put together a match with Goldberg if stuff started to go shit up.
That's what I'm thinking. And it's kind of like he's the only top heel that's kind of around.
I'm very, very worried. I'm very worried about this. We'll get into it more when we get situation. There. Not so much about the Roman thing. I'm not worried about Roman. Roman did the right thing, which was to go home, mind himself, and stay safe.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this Goldberg Braun Strowman match.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Highly worried.
That's why, like, I obviously it's not WrestleMania obviously doesn't feel the same because it's obviously not the same as usual every year. But I'm very, very intrigued to see how all of this plays out, how they do everything, how they fix these snafus that's happened with people pulling out and all this stuff. So I'm very intrigued. So it's gonna be must-see TV to see how they pull all this off.
There's a word you don't hear a lot. Snafu.
Yes, I just came off for the top of my head. So, are you ready to move on to the next one?
Yep, we're ready to move on to the next one.
We got Otis versus Dolphy Poo for the love of Mandy Rose, even though it's not. I hope
that gorgeous, sweaty, hairy angel murders Dolph Ziggler in a pit of fire, and then Mandy Rose realizes what a lovely man he is, and then they lovingly fall into each other's arms, and then Mandy realizes that Sonya Deville is a bitch, and she smacks her across the face. So contrary to what I think is actually going to happen, I'm very much voting Otis.
I have a feeling that's kind of where they're going, because the playback off of SmackDown, I do remember Mandy kind of saying to Dolph, like, you guys better like not be using me as like a prize or da-da-da. Like, I'm not a piece, like I'm not a prize. So I'm wondering if something's gonna like unravel for Dolph there, where that's kind of the way he is playing this whole thing with Mandy.
Ooh, Tucky! He better win. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna put it that. I'm going to riot.
I'll probably go with Otis too, just because
he's such a lovely.
I feel it fits.
Yes, he needs a look. This is like a Disney level love story. Oh God, excuse me. This is like a Disney level love story, and
Beauty and the
Beast. He needs to win. Yes, not a better description, to be honest, because Mandy doesn't realize what she's got in her hands. He's a gorgeous man.
Yes,
that horrible beastie bitch that she is.
He's a lot of man.
He's a whole lot of man. Yeah. Hey, that whole lot of man can do a worm, which is more worm than I can do.
I will not be 100%. I will not be surprised if we get a heel turn by Tucky, though.
Ooh, no.
I just think that, honestly, I think this is like a thing where Tucky and Sonya maybe not canoodling together, but like a conspiracy between the two of them to do like break up Otis. So like Tucky's like thought about it is, okay, well, he's getting too much involved with Mandy. That's going to affect our wrestling, the tag team, because he's going to be too much thinking about that. Same thing with Sonya and her and Mandy. Maybe they're conspiring together to split them both up. That's
what you're saying, is that what you think is actually going on is Mandy and Sonya are conspiring with Ziggler to break up Heavy Machinery?
No. I think Tucky and Sonya is conspiring with both of them so that that Otis and Mandy don't get together, because I feel that the two on the outside feel that that's going to break up their not break up their tag teams, but they're going to be more focused on the relationship than the actual wrestling.
Gaze was saying if he doesn't heel turn, you have perfect 6-man mixed tag matches set up because you got Rude and Ziggler against Heavy Machinery, and you have Deville and Mandy on the other side. I personally think if we're getting into like micro actions of the prediction, I think it's Deville and Ziggler are scheming together. Mandy's going to find out, and her and Deville are going to fall out. And I really hope that they don't mess with Heavy Machinery, because they don't have a really good funny act there. Like they have New Day, but like, do you know what I mean? New Day are there for years.
Yeah, they're getting.
They haven't had enough of a run as a tag team up there to start breaking them up yet.
No, and they seem to get a little bit of traction, especially at like Elimination Chamber.
People
had,
really like the two of them.
Pop.
Do you know what I mean? Like people are starting to get over with Tucker as well, because he's just spearing people over whatever he fucking.
They had that gauntlet match on SmackDown a few weeks back, where they pretty much ran the wire until they got up against Dolph and Rude, and then they lost. So yeah, I don't know. I could see either way going. That one probably makes a little bit more sense, because I think they could probably have a little bit more long term with that type of storyline.
I like the idea of being able to
two teams
if they're able to do some actual mixed matches where they wrestle, that would be cool. Opposed to this, guys aren't allowed to touch the girls thing and all that.
And like I told you, this will be Dolph's first WrestleMania one-on-one match. So
took 20 years.
Factoid in.
That's fine.
Yeah. Next up,
I was going to say, because we're kind of at the halfway point, will we take a musical interlude and then we'll continue on?
That's fine.
Okay, so in honor of poor Montez Ford's spine, because it was not bad. Yeah, Buzz can feel it as well. I'm feeling it too. We're all feeling spines. So we're just going to play you the Street Profits theme tune, and we're going to be back in a couple of minutes because we all need a little break, and there's a whole lot of WrestleMania predictions yet to come. Enjoy.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Money won't turn up now, I'm about to blow up, and y'all don't even know. Powder keg about to explode. Independent, I run this show. International, run the globe. Hyperdrive, no cruise control. Got the life and they losing fold. I stay 100, I keep it homegrown. I live for the applause, and all the people know. I bring the swag like nobody can. Don't mean to brag, what about it, yeah. I bring the swag like nobody can. It's in the bag, man, I got it, yeah. I got it. From the bottom, about to be up in your face. Putting proof is in the chase. Put in work, the paper pays. On the up and I'm on the road. You beneath and you cutting cold. Hyperdrive and no cruise control. Got the life and they losing fold. I stay 100, I keep it homegrown. I live for the applause, and all the people know. I bring the swag like nobody can. Don't mean to brag, what about it, yeah. I bring the swag like nobody can. It's in the bag, man, I got it, yeah. I bring the swag like nobody can. Don't mean to brag, what about it, yeah. I bring the swag like nobody can. It's in the bag, man, I got it, yeah. I got it. Any, mini, money, whoa. Turn up now, I'm about to blow up, and y'all don't even know. Powder keg about to explode. Independent, I run this show. International, run the globe. Hyperdrive, no cruise control. Got the life and they losing fold. I stay 100, I keep it homegrown. I live for the applause, and all the people know. I bring the swag like nobody can. Don't mean to brag, what about it, yeah. Johnny, whoa, turn up now, I'm about to blow. Up and y'all don't even know. Powder keg about to explode. Independent, I run this show. International, run the globe. Hyperdrive, no cruise control. Got the life and they losing foe. I stay 100, I keep it homegrown. I live for the applause, and all the people know. I bring the swag like nobody can. Don't mean to brag, what about it, yeah? What about it, yeah? I bring the swag like nobody can. It's in the bag, man, I got it, yeah. I got it. Built it from the bottom, ayy. About to be up in your face. Putting proof is in the chase. Put in work, the paper pays. On the up and I'm on the road. You beneath and you cutting cold. Hyperdriving, no cruise control. Got the life and they losing foes. I stay 100, I keep it homegrown. I live for the applause, and all the people know. I bring the swag like nobody can. Don't mean to brag, what about it, yeah? What about it, yeah? I bring the swag like nobody can. It's in the bag, man, I got it, yeah. I bring the swag like nobody can. Don't mean to brag, what about it, yeah? What about it, yeah? I bring the swag like nobody can. It's in the bag, man, I got it, yeah. I got it.
Oh, that's the end of it. And we're back. Cough.
Yay!
Okay, so that was in honor of Montez Ford, and as you probably saw in the video, and I just realized, goddamn smoke. Sorry, one sec. Don't smoke, kids. I also realized for the podcast listeners that I had neglected to mention what that Mike Tyson quote before the song kicked in was.
It just played.
Yeah, so if you were watching the video, which you should, because there's lots of little funny things I'll be putting in the videos from now on for the podcast listeners, join us live. But Montez Ford put out a very funny tweet today in response to what had happened to his spine, where he was like, this is how the phone call with my mama went last night, and it was that clip with Mike Tyson. Mama, I broke my back. It's spinal.
Like where? My spinal.
It's spinal. Oh, Mike Tyson. Never change, sir. Never change. Okay, anyway, next match up, because I got to get rid of Otis and Dolph. And the next match is Bobby Lashley against Aleister Black, which is probably not happening.
Yeah, so reports have been, I haven't seen recently, but reports about a week or so ago were saying that Lashley was not at the WrestleMania tapings. Yeah. So we're going to go through it because this is what's advertised. Yeah. It's going to happen with a few more matches.
In honor of us doing such a thorough thorough in-depth predictions episode of a WWE product, our predictions are subject to change. Because
just like the card,
because there's a lot of matches advertised that we know are changing or not happening at all, or someone's stepping in, but
being altered.
We'll get into that as we're going along.
Yeah, this match here though, it's not going to be hard to really get into it because there's absolutely no build. It was Aleister Black's versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania.
That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
That was almost the Roman Reigns Goldberg logic here, where it's just like, you just say it happens and it happens.
Yeah. Which two of them? Is there two lads that we haven't put together yet? Do you know what's worrying me? Are they going to have Bobby Lashley win?
No, I think they've been well. I mean, Lashley hasn't been on TV recently, but they've obviously, even though they've been squash matches, they've been kind of featuring Aleister Black a little bit more weekly. Yeah. I think they have more plans for Aleister Black in the future than they do Bobby Lashley.
Right.
So I think it's going to be Lashley regardless, or I'm sorry, Black regardless of who he wrestles. If it's Lashley or if there's a replacement, it's going to be Aleister Black.
Yes, sir. Okay, will we move on? Yeah, I haven't predicted. I don't know. I would very much like it to be Aleister Black. I just don't trust them, because you see, there's a very big spanner in the works floating behind Bobby Lashley if the match happens, which is.
Yeah, I heard the one reason why this match was made was because Lana was available, because she was not for a while, because she was filming a movie, and because of all Hollywood was shut down, she couldn't film the movie anymore. So she became suddenly available for WrestleMania. So they're like, oh, we need to have Lashley in a match.
Giz's prediction for this match. Giz, do you want to just keep chiming in predictions and I can read them out online? Because this is so eloquently put. It's beautiful. Bobby Black versus Lashley. Rusev comes out, eats Lashley alive, and takes his wife back. Cue canned applause and cinematic walking into the sunset music. So,
and it makes sense. I mean, they are trying to.
Giz's prediction. So I would imagine that's a Black to win if Rusev comes out and eats his
by default, yeah.
Unless,
or I don't know, that could be disqualification.
Is it just a straight up match?
From what I know of, yeah, but I don't know.
Okay. So
we put more thought into this feud than they have. So
we'll say it's by judgment of Giz's prediction for Giz. I would say it's Lashley that wins because I don't know how Rusev can come out and do all of that, take his wife back, walk off into the sunset without a ref realizing. Although it's a WWE ref, so you don't know. But okay,
Mike Chioda was knocked out for about 20 minutes. Okay, in WrestleMania 17.
You're going Black. I'm going to go Black. I'm going to stick with my martial artsy gut, contrary to what all the years of watching WWE has led me to believe is what's actually going to happen. And Giz is going Lashley with Rusev interference
in eating of Lashley.
Giz went, it'll be a DQ, but we both know Black won't give a fuck, so it'll be fine.
And that's pretty much true because he's like, whatever.
That's good. Okay, next up on the card, we have
Street Profits.
Possibly subject to change. Probably not, hopefully not. Street Profits versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza. I would imagine
it's going to be Street Profits.
Unless they're really focusing on this. These are a faction now.
Well, the thing with this match, and even though it even got even more messed around because of Andrade, the two matches that were supposed to originally happen between these four guys was supposed to be Street Profits defending the titles against AOP.
Yeah.
Well, we had AOP dude go down with injury, so that took them out of the picture. Yeah. Other match was supposed to be Mysterio against Andrade for the U.S. title. Well, Mysterio went under quarantine.
So it was going to be Andrade and Angel Garza against Street Profits for the tag titles, except Andrade got injured. As did Cedric Alexander.
So there's literally four different replacements.
Yeah.
So this is the Raw Tag Team Championship take 4 because literally this is the fourth different version they were going to have.
So they moved a guy up. They made a faction. Although, as I said earlier, I do actually like how this is, albeit just happened to be, has had to happen. But I really did.
Well, the only reason why I think Theory is in it is because he was at the Performance Center at the time of taping, because he was I think he was taping NXT around the same time because they were doing all that combo of filming, and they're just like, oh, we'll just use him.
He's in the Performance Center.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't think it was like they're ready to bring him up.
No, that's why
he's here.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I said, but it would appear because he's been put in with that lump now that it would appear he's up.
So, for now. I mean, I don't know how long Andrade is going to be out, and I don't know what they're going to be doing past.
I think that Mania, I think they could keep him in the faction because Andrade is not going to be doing a tag team, and if you're going to have a good faction, you need a guy who can have a singles belt and a guy who can have a tag belt.
Yeah, it makes sense because I kind of was.
And let Selena Vega wrestle for a fucking belt. God damn it, she's great. She's really good. Like,
and I remember talking to you in the past where I thought it was going to be Carrillo maybe coming up and being like the other part of the faction.
Cousin. Yeah,
but
he's probably in quarantine as well.
Yeah, so, probably. So, but I think we're both going Street Profits.
I'm gonna go Garza and Theory and Giz Street Profits versus Vegas Villains. Medical science wins by making it possible for 4 to appear until gravity does a run-in and leads to Vegas Villains' victory. So that is Okay.
The VVV.
Yeah, okay. So evidently, if I'm picking it up correctly, according to Giz, what's going to happen is Montez Ford is going to get in a battle with gravity. He's going to lose that battle with gravity, and Vega's villains are going to win. So,
Seems
okay,
about the
so
only way I can see that happening.
okay, so yeah, perfect. Although technically he had a battle with gravity on Monday and he lost.
True.
So, okay, so myself and Giz are going for Vega's villains, which I hope is a working title, and they don't actually pick that up. And you're going for Street Profits, which is probably the more realistic answer, to be honest. But I feel there could be a bit of investment in this. They like Garza, so okay.
Yeah.
Next match we got on the lineup is not happening.
No, not in this form.
Nearly every match we've said tonight has been subject to change so far.
This would be called Subject to Change a Mania. 36.
So, for anyone who hasn't been watching the news, Miz, it would appear, has coronavirus, or he just showed up.
It's not said. He's ill, and they're just taking precaution. There's been no guarantee that I know of or anything where he's tested positive, but they just want to go on the side of precaution, and they just took him out. He just had an illness, but they didn't really say what it was.
And also because the Usos were probably going to murder him because they weren't impressed with him showing up sick, with Roman being, having the issues.
There.
Okay, so we actually are not 100% sure what's going on here, because so far we've heard 3 different versions of what way this match could play out. For the podcast,
they're talking about a singles
for the
match.
podcast listeners who aren't able to see the screen, the initial lineup was supposed to be Usos versus Miz and Morrison versus New Day for the tag belts in a triple threat match, ladder match
too.
And then there was talks of it being a 3-way singles ladder match. Then there was talks of it being a singles ladder match, and you've heard it could be.
This is okay. So this is the original thing I heard when Miz first went down, was that it was going to be a 1-on-1 match for the tag titles. This is before Usos were even, or the New Day was even in the picture.
Yeah.
I thought the Usos were just going to win the match on Friday and become sole number 1 contenders, but Miz and Morrison attacked both of them, which caused the triple threat. So what I heard, it was going to be one of the Usos versus John Morrison for the tag titles, which makes no sense for a 1-on-1 match to be for the tag titles. But then again, it's like, well, where does the New Day fit in this picture? Do they just magically
just drop the New Day,
get kicked out of the match? It doesn't make any sense. So, like I was telling you before, I've heard rumors that there are false leaks that have been getting out to kind of deter people thinking that
I won't lie to you, even before the news that there was false leaks got out, some of the stuff I heard, I was like, I think someone's telling some porky pies here just to throw people off.
Exactly. So there could be a chance that it's still all 3 teams and just minus Miz and maybe adding somebody. We don't know. We really don't know.
How the fuck do we predict this one? Because it's definitely not the lineup that it's going to be.
It's almost like we'd rather pick what we think the match is actually going to be, let alone pick the winner.
Okay, do you want to do that?
Do
you want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a ladder match, or it's supposed to be a ladder match.
I'd imagine they'll keep the ladder element anyway.
I honestly think it's still going to stand the way it is without just minus the Miz, because it doesn't make any sense. Or do one member from each team.
I feel that's the only because I mean, you can't put Morrison in against
by himself.
Yeah, it makes no sense. You can't just,
because then he'll have 4 guys,
and then you can't just plop someone in with them, because they literally have no affiliation with anybody whatsoever. Like, there's no one you could logically plop in there as a faction member, unless.
And this is and it's a little bit different than the Garza Austin Theory thing, because they're not the champions. Miz and Morrison are the champions, so you can't just magically enter somebody and they're a champion.
So what do we? I think the most logical thing to do is still do it as a tag match, but it's one guy per team.
Yeah, it's going to be a triple threat ladder match, but instead of all the teams, it's going to be a representative from each team.
Yeah, and there might be a bit of shenanigans where one of the Usos swaps out for another one of the Usos, because you can't fucking tell the two of them apart.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I
Okay.
think.
Will we say it's a 3-way singles ladder match?
So who do we think's going to win?
I'm going to go with Morrison.
I'm going to go Usos.
I'm going to go Morrison just because he's Captain Parkour.
I'm going to go Usos just because we don't know what's going on with the Miz, so they might want to take the titles off, put them on the Usos just in case it's a long-term situation.
Oh yes, that's very true.
But then again, like we said, after the show on Sunday, we don't know what the future lies anyway. So who
Giz
knows?
is saying, what if it stayed as a just Morrison versus the other two tag teams, but the two...
That's what I originally said.
He said the New Day and the Usos end up getting stuck into each other, and Morrison ends up winning it via just...
That could happen.
You forget about the singles guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that as Giz saying Morrison, so... Okay.
Yeah. So 2 Morrisons and I say Usos.
Yeah. Although I feel because you see if there hasn't been a report about it being corona, it must mean he only has like a cough. Like we are in flu season, like, do you know what I mean? People.
Yeah. I mean, I know the thing is like it takes about sometimes a few days to get reports, but it's been reported for a good week.
But you see,
or
there wouldn't be a proper report coming about him for when did he show up sick?
I don't remember exactly because
it would have been some stage last week, probably.
Well, it had to have been almost 2 weeks ago.
I thought it was last week.
Because, well, they filmed a lot of their stuff though.
Right.
Within the last couple weeks.
So it takes 14 days for you to be able to find out if you got something or not.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll move on anyway because that's a definite, very hard to predict one.
Yeah. Plus, we got a lot of cards to still go over.
Next up, we got Bryan versus Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship, and obviously Daniel Bryan is going to have Gulak in his corner, and Sami Zayn is going to have Nakamura and Cesaro, assuming probably.
One of the matches we can actually say are probably going to happen.
Yeah, that looks
the way it's presented.
Well, it's 100% he's shot his match. We know that. And now he's in quarantine for a week or two just until, because they got a baby and stuff. So he's going to make sure he's all... Yeah. And he has to have a conversation with his naturopath. Whatever the fuck that is.
This, to me, personally, I think could be the show stealer.
Yes.
If they run this as a regular show.
But people forget, like, these guys ran into each other a whole buttload in Ring of Honor. Like, so these guys got matches for days.
Yeah. Yeah. Not much in WWE, which is, I mean, it's kind of refreshing then to see.
And you're going to get a cracker of a match because the two lads work really well together. If you ever saw any of the Ring of Honor stuff, I'm going to go with Sami Zayn.
Think I'm going to lean towards that too, because I think they're going to do more with Gulak and Bryan as possibly a team. Mm-hmm. Or a feud in itself, maybe if maybe Gulak turns on Bryan or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Yeah, I can just see Sami Zayn and keeping it on him for a while.
Yeah, maybe have Gulak join Sammy's little group.
I'd actually like Gulak and what the fuck? I'd actually like Gulak and Bryan to stay together.
Yeah, they can do them maybe have them do a little bit of a tag run or
they find another guy that's really good.
Just do what they
if they could find another guy that's really good at tangling people up and like if you could get Chad Gable up in the mix with them as a little stable together, that would be fucking dope.
Yeah. I'd say Cesaro, but he's
Cesaro was the guy I was actually thinking of, but it's just unless he.
Ooh, you could do Shelly Benjamin.
He's a bad guy.
Oh, that's true. Well, so is Cesaro.
Yeah, but there could be like Cesaro could flip on Zayn or something. I don't know. I think Chad Gable. I would actually prefer Chad Gable. Firstly, I would prefer
if he does that, he needs to drop the Shorty Shorty G
Yes.
thing if he's
I don't know your opinion
And
on
actually-
it. He's needed to drop that since literally the minute they came up with
well,
it.
yeah. I was saying if he joins Gulak and Brian, it needs to be dropped because he needs to be taken a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. Oh, wait. We got a message
So-
from the Exalted
Hey.
One. Zayn wins due to Cock Nakamura and Cicero. I'm assuming he means Cesaro interference, which leads to Brian and Gulak as tag team taking on Bane's boys. Who's the Bane's boys?
I don't know.
Who are the Banes? I know Banes is a misspell. What?
Reigns boy? I have no
No.
idea
Ba-
what he's talking about.
Who the fuck are they going up against?
Who?
Oh, do you know what it probably is? Zayn's boys. Zayn's boys.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Zayn's. Yeah, he just clarified it there.
Okay.
You can see how I'd get really confused there, Giz. I'm not going to say why on camera, but you know why. Okay, next up. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, so...
We all went Zayn.
Yeah,
on
okay,
that one.
perfect. Cool. I was just clarifying. Next up, we got the Kabuki Warriors. Shit name. Never get over it. We got them against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I think it's going to be Bliss and there's not a lot of storyline to get into this. Asuka slapped Bliss one day and that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Cross and Bliss because I get the impression Kairi Sane might not be coming back because her contract's up soon.
Yeah. I think it might be Cross and Bliss too, not because of that same reason, but I just feel like they haven't really. I mean, they haven't done really anything with the women's tag titles since they've been conceived. But when it's been on the Kabuki Warriors, it's had even less of a thing because it's like the whole time the Kabuki Warriors have been champion, it's almost been just Asuka
Yeah,
doing
it's been all Asuka
singles
stuff. Yeah.
feuds. And it's like it doesn't make any sense. And it's
Like even all of the tag matches,
they've had it for a long time.
even all
too.
of the tag matches that they had, all revolved around singles feuds. Do you know what I mean? It was whoever Asuka was feuding
It's
with
like-
paired up with someone against Kabuki Warriors.
I get that little time period when Kyrie got hurt. She got the concussion and she was out for a little bit. I get that because she can't wrestle, but that was maybe like a month of them, and they've had the titles for a long
Well, you see,
time.
what happened there was she got injured, and then also WWE realized Becky's never beat Asuka. And there's a storyline there, and we need a fucking pay-per-view. And we got nothing.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
got nothing. Who should we put
But-
her up against?
Yeah,
Literally nobody. Got no one. Not a one.
I'm gonna go with Cross and Bliss as the first ever 2-time women's tag
And
champs.
Giz is, oh god, it's very hard to tell because it's like Asuka and Bliss, or sorry, Asuka and Cross on either time. Ordinarily, I just go by one or the other, but he likes both of them, so I don't know which. There's probably a 60-second delay. You can drop in a messenger and we can come back. Okay, so everyone's going for Cross and Bliss at the moment. Currently.
Yes.
Next match, we have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, which is probably the or at least second best built-up match on the card.
It's the one they've been doing the most too, because I mean, Rollins has been a thorn in Owens' side, and vice versa for
Months.
last 2 or 3 months.
This has been all accumulating to head. We already gave you a recap on the way the storyline was working with them anyway. Earlier when we were explaining all the Montez Ford stuff. So I'm going to go with Owens.
I'm gonna go with them too. They, especially after this past week, where they really, like past couple of weeks, they've been really focusing on Kevin Owens not having that big WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
And I think this is, even though this is not a big WrestleMania event because there's going to be nobody to have a big moment in front of. I think this is where he's going to get And the funny thing is they are completely erasing probably his biggest WrestleMania moment was against Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 33.
It's because the match didn't go down well. That's why.
Well, I mean, he won, so it's still he won the title.
He won the title
US
and then
title.
went backstage, asked Vince how the match went.
Yeah,
and he went,
I do remember that. Yeah.
Don't talk to me, essentially. Which is kind of like
Yeah.
WrestleMania moment gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem was. I actually thought it was an all-right match. I don't know why everyone was hating on it.
Yeah. I don't know what he was. That was supposed to be the main event that year. That was supposed to be for the Universal title.
Yeah.
But then, surprise, surprise, here comes Goldberg fucking everything up again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was Goldberg then as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, when he went up against Lesnar.
Big bald son of a bitch. Giz is
It's
saying
everything.
Owens wins due to Murphy fuck up, but Murphy won't be there.
He won't be there.
So
Murphy's been not cleared for the last, I don't know, couple weeks.
I don't.
That's why
Murphy's been
any of his team.
Yeah, Murphy's been on that poster since before COVID-19 was a thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm saying Owens. You're saying Owens.
I'm saying Owens.
And Giz is saying Owens, and Giz was also saying Cross and Bliss as well. He mailed me there. Okay.
Wow.
Next matchup is John Cena versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt / also Bray Wyatt, because evidently both of them are making an appearance.
Yeah.
In a
Firefly
Funhouse match. So the match is literally taking place in the Firefly Funhouse universe, which sounds more impressive if it wasn't for the fact that Seth Rollins proved it's just a room out the back many months ago. So essentially they're having a fight on the Firefly set. But we were told...
Well, they did rebuild it, so you never know.
Yes.
What it could be now.
I'd imagine it's another room in the back. It's yeah. But anyway, the exciting thing about this is we've been told that this is going to be super cinematic and playing up to the whole Bray Wyatt Fiend style character, which I feel I'm going already disappointing myself in advance, because I have this Lucha Underground style fucking cinematic piece of wrestling gold going on in my head, and I have a horrible feeling it's going to turn out like a fucking the Firefly Fun House. No, the Bray Wyatt
House of Horrors, I think.
House of Horrors match, yeah,
with him and Orton.
I hope it doesn't. Although I feel to give Wyatt enough role on the character now that I think he'll be able to kind of go, this is not going to work. It's tacky or whatever. I hope they animate the fucking puppets.
Yeah. I really don't know what to expect out of it, just because.
Which is cool.
WWE,
I like that. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the one thing that, like, is as much as, like, yes, should this not be going on because of everything? Yeah, probably they should have probably postponed it so they could have it in front of a big crowd and everything. But like I said before, I'm really intrigued how a lot of these matches, especially these specialty matches, are actually going to play out. And this is one of the big ones, especially with all the rumors of the cinematic elements that are supposed to be in it, and that, and like one of the couple matches down the line. It should be interesting. I'm going Wyatt.
I'm going Wyatt as well. Actually, one of the
if he loses,
one of the Wrestle Talk guys had a really cool idea, which I think they should have done, and it might happen. Probably not, because as we said, there seems to be already an opponent for Goldberg in the can. But they said they should have made it Cena and Wyatt headline day one, and whoever won that match day one face Goldberg day two, and then you could get the belt back on Wyatt.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to have Roman Reigns at a taping until all of this madness is done and dusted.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't know if you're going to have anybody at a taping with the way it's going. So I don't know. I mean, that is probably would make a heck of a lot of sense, because Strowman doesn't really make a ton of sense. But he's the only guy around.
Giz is saying Fiend should win, but he feels Cena will win with the Fiend doing an Undertaker-style rise from the dead after the finish, which I fucking hope doesn't happen, because that's literally what happened with Goldberg. And it was shit.
Yeah. If, like I said, if Cena wins, like I think I've said this before somewhere, Bray Wyatt might as well go back and disappear for another 6 months and reinvent himself again, because they would have literally have killed a whole push that he had. They already started to do it with Goldberg beating him. They Cena beats him at Mania. It's the nail in the coffin. He's done. No one's gonna take him seriously.
Like I mean, this is his vendetta match. Like this is him facing the entire reason the Fiend came into existence. You can't have him lose this match.
I'm surprised. Like, this has had a pretty good build. I mean, it hasn't had a long build.
The thing with the two guys involved is you don't need 50 promos from them to get something over. They can do 2 ridiculously good promos that you can talk about for a week and a half afterwards.
Like the one that they did at the first Empty Arena show when Cena was actually there, and it was like Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt. That was gold. Like, that's all they needed right there.
Okay. So Giz is saying Cena because he thinks they're going to fuck it up, which I can't blame him for thinking that because they have a tendency of doing these kinds of things. And you and I are both saying Fiend. Okay,
correct.
Right. Next match we have is Undertaker and Styles in a Boneyard match, which is also in keeping with this style of match we discussed before, which is going to be highly cinematic, crazy shots. I'd imagine, which is a really good way of getting around Undertaker being not as mobile and everything as he is. And I don't know how this is going to go because I don't know what it is. And on top of that, I don't know which Undertaker we're getting because he's been very much dressed like Badass Taker. And even saying the Undertaker, I'll make you famous by, American Badass line. But he teleported from one place to the other behind Luke Gallows and Anderson last week, and a Boneyard match seems very old school Taker kind of thing. So I don't know what we're getting exactly.
From what I think I heard, it's pretty much going to kind of be like a casket match or a buried alive match, but they didn't want to actually full out say it's a buried alive match because of the current situation with a lot of death that's been happening. So they just wanted to find a name that
they thought the most tasteful thing to do is rebrand it and then still just bury someone alive on camera.
Still just do it, because the name's the problem.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that's what I heard, but like I said, I don't know.
I'm going to have to go with AJ Styles, I would imagine.
I don't know. I don't know. This is a hard one.
But I mean, like,
it should be AJ.
But how many more? Like realistically, right? How many more? He already retired twice, trying to put people over. Well, one there's speculation on it because supposedly Brock went into work for himself, if you're to believe Paul Heyman. So, or not really. He said he might have gone into work for himself because it's Paul Heyman. And he refuses to ever give you a straight answer on anything because he's a goddamn wizard.
Yeah.
But how many more manias do you have in Taker? Like, do you know what I mean? Like he's been trying.
Honestly, I think this is.
He's been trying to hang up the cap and make something big of someone while hanging up the cap. The Roman Reigns thing blew up in his face completely and didn't work. Yeah. And AJ Styles, I feel people like him enough that he can win at Mania. And I mean, like, the streak's gone now. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And it just, logistically, it just does not make sense for Taker to win this.
And that's the thing is, like, that's kind of what this whole rivalry has been based off of. Like, AJ said, like, you should have been retired 3 years ago, or how, like, WrestleMania 33 when he lost to Roman. WrestleMania 30, Taker himself said that I think he felt that was going to be it. I was actually just watching the Broken Skull sessions with Taker a couple days ago, and he was saying that, like, he felt like he was going to hang it up there after WrestleMania 30 when Brock beat him. Because he got scared and the way he felt after that match because he got concussed.
Yeah. And because Brock supposedly just decided to drop him on his fucking head and do the match.
Yeah, I mean, according this is you got to go by what they say or take. Don't know fully what they mean, but according to Taker, it wasn't Brock's fault. He got concussed and Brock didn't know, and then continued to beat him during the match. So I could have made it worse. But I mean, like he may just be saying that just to protect Brock. I don't know.
Okay, so
but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Styles.
I'm going to go Styles as well. And Giz is saying boneyard match should take place in a junkyard. Winner kicks the crap out of. It would have been if we'd realized we were going to be doing a prediction show. It would have been easier just to ring Giz in than this at this stage. But anyway, boneyard match should take place.
Kind of thought that's what we were
in
doing.
A junkyard. We normally don't have them on the Wednesday show. You see, we normally do a special show coming into the weekend.
Yeah, normally that just because of everything going on. It's
okay.
different.
So winner kicks the crap out of their opponent, throwing them into the trunk of a soon-to-be wrecked car. Taker wins due to use of weapons on Gallows and Anderson and a soon-to-be dead AJ Styles. So Giz is going with the Taker because Giz looks like a mini version of the Taker. That is all. Okay, next.
I can take it.
Next, we have a fatal five-way.
SmackDown Women's title.
Fatal five-way between Naomi, Lacey Evans, Bayley, and Banks and Tamina. Yay!
This is an elimination match too. Don't forget. This is another one where there's really not much. I mean, there's a little bit of a build, but really, this match got announced by Paige just randomly, like, "Hey, you're gonna wrestle this person and this person and this person and this person and this person." And that's pretty much how this all got made.
I literally,
honestly,
I don't have a clue what the two logical ones are like either Bayley or Banks, but that means you're breaking up that duo now.
I think that's their plans because originally it was supposed to be Bayley and Banks 1-on-1, but I think they're going to push that further a little bit down the line. I could see Banks winning, and that causes it. She really hasn't had a WrestleMania moment because Bayley retained her title at 33, I think. Becky's obviously had her Mania moment. Charlotte's had her Mania moment. Sasha really, the Sasha matches, she's either been she was in a couple of the triple threats and fatal four ways for the women's titles where she lost. She was in last year. She was in for the women's tag fatal four-way, which she lost.
And the problem with the Sasha matches are she's not able to hold on to a belt for longer than fucking 24 hours either.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm probably going to go... I'm going to go Banks.
I think that's where I'm going to go too, because a lot of people are saying that, or reports are saying that it's going to be a face turn for one of the two. I think it's going to be Banks out of the two because Bayley's so freshly heel that it wouldn't make a ton of sense for her to turn back.
She's also, bar one promo, not very good at being a heel though. Banks is really good at being a heel.
Yeah, she's a natural heel.
So I would like, if anything, if you're going to be putting the belt on Banks, I would have her heel turn.
Yeah.
And then a face thing comes out of it. Although I don't know how you fucking flip Bayley face that quick either. Although they've done it before.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Monkeys, like.
Yeah. I'm going to go Banks just because of what I said, like her not really having, that moment yet.
Yeah. Okay. After that, we have, Jesus Christ,
Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair.
It better be fucking Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, there's no way.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I cannot see Charlotte Flair going to NXT to be the champ. I'm trying not to say it's
no longer the lower down brand. It's got its own TV show.
I get that, but it's still looked at some people as not the diehards know what it is.
Giz is saying Banks.
No, it's the superior.
Giz is saying Banks as well. Same as us. Sneaky something out of Banks. Bailey goes face. I'm going to say Rhea Ripley. You're obviously going to say Rhea Ripley, and I don't need kids to tell me who he's going for.
Plus, Ripley's had one of the biggest, last couple of months.
She's had a super push going on. I don't see it. I agree with you.
It all started at TakeOver last year at War Games, and then going into Survivor Series. I don't see it stopping right now.
Oh no, I was completely wrong.
TV, but I don't know. I still don't feel people think it's where it's level because it's the way that they were treating NXT fairly well when it came to Survivor
Yeah.
Series, but after that, if a NXT person comes up, like you look at Caden Carter and all these people that have been coming up against, they've just been squash people.
True.
So
True. All right. So Giz is going Flair. You and I are going Ripley. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up we have Orton.
4 more matches.
Whew, getting there. Next up we have Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match, or a don't hit my wife with an RKO match, whatever one you want to call it.
This has been probably the best build up for not just this year, but for like the last few years for Mania. This has probably been the best build up.
Well, as
for
you
a
and I
match.
were saying
The storyline
when we
was
were
like
nattering yesterday, like they have 10 years worth of storyline to play off of already.
Yeah.
So it was done smart.
and they're both. You could tell that they care because they're both invested into their promos.
Yeah.
Just everything about this rivalry. You could just tell that it's the respect for each other, obviously. But I mean,
so good. So
just the promos Edge has been given the last couple of weeks are just, and then Randy comes back. It's good.
I'm going to go Edge because he signed a new contract and he has a certain amount of dates a year and everything like that. So I feel it's going to be
Yeah, I can't see his big first one-on-one match be a loss. Especially with the last man standing aspect, they're both looked at as psychopaths when it comes like crazy Edge back in the day, and then Randy Orton, they're both crazy. So it fits both of them.
Giz is saying Edge as well with Orton fucking him up again afterwards, which writes him off TV for a while. Again.
So it could be almost like a Triple H Shawn Michaels back from 2002.
Yeah, he gets the win, but he also loses.
Same thing.
Do you know that kind of thing?
Yeah, and he's out for.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's 3 Edge heads voting. Next up, we have Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. I'm going for Baszler.
This is another good it's been a little bit rocky.
The build up for this has been very flat until the last. Literally Raw this week is the only time I was like, okay, this is getting some.
Yeah, I'd say the last couple weeks they've been kind of. Baszler last week or a couple weeks ago had that promo where she's sitting in the ring. Becky hit her in the back of the chair, and then this week Becky gave her a pretty good promo, and they got choked out by Baszler. I think it's gonna be Baszler.
I'm going.
It's just
I'm going Baszler. She's had a
Becky's
push and a half.
had the belt for literally a year.
She's had a push and a half as well, and Baszler's on a push and a half at the moment. So,
I think Becky's it's getting long in the tooth with her run here, and I think it's time to kind of.
Meltzer, whoever reported herself and Rollins are looking to get married. Her taking a couple of months off, coming back.
Yeah. If they're able to now because of everything going on, so that's they can't travel anywhere.
You can get someone to come.
So they might not be
to the house.
I mean, they could probably get. I don't know though. A lot of churches aren't allowing the stuff going on, so I don't know. I mean, they can find a way to do it, but it depends on what they want to do.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone's going Baszler. I'll just give his answer in a minute. Up next, we have card subject to change. We have what we're being told is possibly going to be Braun Strowman versus Goldberg now instead of Roman Reigns is definitely out anyway, so this poster is redundant.
Yeah. Yeah. The reasoning why, from what I told you, from what they said, is that Roman pulled out after the shows were in the can for SmackDown, so that's why the match is still being promoted. You'd think they'd be able to go in and fix it, but then again, what do you fix it to? Because you don't they know who the replacement is, but it hasn't been announced yet, so they can't really.
Giz is saying for the last match that it's Baszler to win, so Ronda can come back and beat her for the belt.
That'd be good.
That would be good because you could just have an MMA match. Which would be great. Okay, so I'm going to go with whoever's versing Goldberg. Yeah, because I can't see them keeping the belt on him for. Well, they won't be able to get him to appear as much as they're going to need him to. So, literally, whoever. Oh, actually, wait. I can fix this. One sec.
Yeah, I don't. He most likely, no matter whatever way they did this, it was probably going to be Roman winning if it was Roman, because he probably just signed on to do Mania, and then
There we go.
he was going to
There we
hop
go.
off.
Wait, I just got a picture of Braun Strowman there, and just put Braun over Roman. There we go. Perfect. Got the proper card there now. So yeah, we've been told it's Braun Strowman. I'm literally whoever is in Braun Strowman's place or Roman's place or whoever is in that right hand corner. I would imagine is going to be the one.
Whoever the challenger.
Yeah, whoever the challenger is. So whoever's on the right is myself and Buzz's opinion, and Giz has said Reigns versus Goldberg. Vince is already the third word, so this is going to be good. Reigns versus Goldberg. Vince comes down, does a storming promo condemning people for not having the testicular fortitude to get in the ring with Goldberg, then rips off his shirt and gets jackhammered into retirement.
I can see that happening too.
So who wins?
Nobody.
Nobody.
We all lose.
If I'm picking it up correctly, what he's predicting is it's going to be Vince versus Goldberg, and Goldberg's going to win.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. But like I said, we all lose.
Goldberg for the win. So there, we all lose. Yeah, we all lose.
Yeah.
And last and final match.
Finale.
Sorry, got to get rid of Braun Strowman there as well. Last and final match, we have
finally got there.
BZL versus Drew Mac. I'm coming up with stupid names. If they're allowed to call Chad Gable Shorty G, I can call Brock Lesnar BZL. BZL, what's up?
There you go.
What up?
That works.
F5 Nizzle.
I think it's going to be McIntyre because I think it was going to be McIntyre the whole time.
It was very much put over that it's going to be McIntyre.
I don't see much. I don't see much changing that. Like I was telling you earlier, he hasn't been on TV for a couple weeks, so
McIntyre.
He hasn't been able to really, he hasn't been able to really defend himself from a lot of It's more just words and stuff because of Heyman.
Yeah,
but I just feel like they've been building up Brock a little bit too much the last few weeks without McIntyre being able to kind of get any say in. And I think this is where he gets his say.
I'd agree with that.
And I think that's what they've been kind of doing. I mean, with the Rumble, with him eliminating Brock, they've definitely been building McIntyre to be, hopefully, and he's a perfect Vince McMahon guy, big beefy lad, athletic,
big beefy lad.
Yeah, he fits everything Vince McMahon wants in a superstar. He's charismatic. I don't understand why it took him this long for him to get this spot, but unfortunately for him, it's going to be in front of nobody. That's the sad part.
Giz is saying, I think we're all voting McIntyre. Giz said McIntyre for the win. Lesnar comes back when he feels like it, so he has the belt for next WrestleMania. Okay.
Yeah. That sounds about right. They'll have a belt. I don't know which one.
We're all going McIntyre. Okay, so that's...
Yes.
Ooh, God, that was long. Okay, so that's us at the end of the show. It was a long predictions. We've done as good a job at it as we can because, as I said, we're very much not 100% sure about what is going to be happening with a good 50% of the matches. So we've just predicted what we were told. But other than that, do you want to?
Yeah, this is a weird time.
Yeah, it's a weird time, and it's going to be a weird mania.
Yeah, let me remember that. The other thing is we didn't really know is we don't know what matches are going to take place on what night because they really haven't said anything about that.
It is a
two-night
safe to
event.
assume that fill-in Reigns and Goldberg will be one night. Lesnar and McIntyre will be a different night.
See, the thing is, I think the way what's going to go is I think Baszler and Becky main event night 1, and I believe McIntyre and Lesnar main event night 2. Just because they've had the two of the bigger builds. They're both for titles.
And
I think with Roman and Goldberg not happening.
Yeah, you're not going to have Goldberg main event?
No, because because of the change of all if it was Roman Goldberg, maybe. But because of the change, I would say the audience going home, but I guess it doesn't matter because there's no audience. But I just feel like I feel like I think also you want to give the ladies one night as a main event too. And I think this is the strongest women's match out of the.
I personally think it's going to be. I don't know the full running order, but if I was to book it, I would imagine it would be Bailey in the 5-way on night 1. You'd have Undertaker and Styles night 1, and you'd finish with Goldberg and whoever. Yeah, and then night 2 would be Baszler, night 2 would be John Cena versus The Fiend, because that way you have a weird kooky style match on either night. Then I'd have then it'd be Baszler, Becky, and then it would be Lesnar, McIntyre.
Because you got Rhea and Charlotte. You got to mix in there too.
Shit, yeah, because there's 3 women's titles.
Well, 4 technically with the women's tag.
I'm talking singles. Yeah.
No. This card's very top heavy. There's a lot of big, like the bigger matches. Is really good. It's the undercard that's kind of all messed up. But like, there's a lot of matches that could be a main event for either night, especially up at the top or half of the card. But yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. Like I was saying, so Saturday is night 1, takes place 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There is an hour pre-show at 6 o'clock, and then same thing with Sunday.
I'd imagine some of those matches are going to be pre-show as well. Like,
there could be. Yeah. I could see like Otis and Tucker or Otis and Ziggler being a pre-show match. It should be, but I could see Elias Corbin being a pre-show. Same thing with Black and Lashley.
Okay, do you want to get in some good housekeeping and we'll get out of here? Because we're nearly an hour and a half now.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, because of everything we kind of.
There was no way of getting around it.
It's Mania, so
it's a big long card full of a lot of speculation that normally isn't there.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to follow us, we are available on our social media accounts on Instagram and Twitter at Kayfabe Or Die. If you want to listen to podcasts, we are available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. You can just search Kayfabe Or Die. We are available here on YouTube, obviously. Just type Kayfabe Or Die, and you can find us. We might be possibly changing kind of a little bit of the format maybe in the next week or two, depending on what happens. We can
get into that depending on whatever. No point getting into it now.
Yeah.
Keep it as a surprise, just in case.
Yeah.
We have some surprises in store just in case the wrestling world does actually cease to function for a couple of months, because it could get that way. So
just keep an eye on our socials and I'll update once it's made clear.
Other than that, from myself and Buzz, we're going to say goodbye, and myself and Giz will be back Friday as usual with the normal Friday antics of Kayfabe Or Die, all courtesy of Limerick City Community Radio. And other than that, say goodbye, Buzz.
Goodbye, Buzz.
Coming up, we have the 1990 classic Wrestlemania that has every pay-per-view mentioned in it, not just Wrestlemania, and it's not really a classic. And it's not really a song either, as I was discussing with you earlier. It's really just a conglomerate of wrestling promos with some funky music.
80s promos.
Old style 80s promos with some funky music and a couple of lyrics at it. But other than that, from myself and Buzz, not Gorecast, Jesus Christ, Kayfabe Or Die, outskis.
I said, are you ready for the Survivor Series?
Who will survive?
To climb to the top in the World Wrestling Federation, Tatanka would be successful. Hey, ever since I was a little bitty boy, I wanted to do one thing and one thing only, and that's to be a law enforcement officer. Treat other people like you'd want to be treated. Try to walk the straight and narrow, because that's the only way you're going to survive in this life.
Who will survive?
Listen up. We're coming after you, and you're gonna get nasty stuff right down your throats all through 93.
Well, let me tell you something, boys. I am the World Wrestling Federation champion. The excellence of execution is on top. There's a new gun in town.
I made a vow to become a law enforcement officer. See these handcuffs right here? They're an instrument of justice. The big boss man is law, order, and justice of the World Wrestling Federation.
Who will survive?
Here it comes.